The Lavaloon is one of the best TH13 attack strategies with the new hero equipment. This army is able to take full advantage of the giant arrow thanks to its synergy with the ZapQuake. So with that said, the steps are pretty simple, starting with the ZapQuake and lining up the queen with the giant arrow to remove defenses with the ZapQuake and giant arrow combo. Follow this by using your barbarian king, archer queen, and royal champion to go as a hero dive into the base to get more of the base down, which then allows you to smash the rest of the base with the Lavaloon, any spells if you are bringing any with them, and of course clean up for the 3-star. So this is a basic army composition that you can really shape depending on the base that you're seeing. Alongside the army, you have a plethora of siege machines to choose from. The Flame Flinger is one of the best options if there is Flame Flinger value, so no mortars, Teslas, skeleton traps, or expos in a given location, while also being able to get your Lavaloon to go into the town hall. Now, sometimes that might not be the case. If you can't get your Lalo to go into the town hall, you might just want to use the battle blimp. This can either have sneaky goblins if you have no spells, or you can use a Yeti blimp to secure the town hall takedown. If there is no value for the Flame Flinger and you can still get to the town hall with the Lavaloon, then you should either use the battle drill or the stone slammer. Both work considering they go for defenses, just I would prefer the battle drill since it provides stunning. Now, there is a lot of flexibility to this army, and we're just scratching the surface. Hero abilities are definitely a great way to have a lot of flexibility on different bases that you'll see, and the recommended ones here, especially for the King and the Warden, can really help with that. For the Barbarian King, the Gauntlet and the Rage Vial has a great synergy, as it provides a huge damage bonus and of course a speed buff, while also having the Gauntlet splash and damage reduction. It's a really good way to get a lot of value with your king and queen moving behind. With the archer queen, you've got a set in stone giant arrow to help with your ZapQuake, of course, but you've also got the healer puppets to turn your hero dive into a mini queen charge once that king falls. Now, your Grand Warden has a couple options. The Eternal Tome is always staying on your Warden no matter what. However, the Heart Tome can be used, especially something that I like because you can get through the core or get through the town hall, and it pretty much gets all those balloons within it pretty much right back up to full health, and they still heal through the Warden's Eternal Tome. Of course, you can still use the Life Gem if you have it leveled up quite high in comparison to the Heart Tome, but it can still be good as it provides an extra amount of HP to the balloons. I still prefer healing because they stay up longer than balloons under the Life Gem. So these hero abilities will allow for much needed flexibility, which will really help with each step of this strategy. With an army like this, it all starts with a ZapQuake. You'll want to first start by lining up where the giant arrow will go in terms of removing key defenses. Usually this is either removing an Inferno, Scattershot, or Eagle Artillery with the giant arrow and the ZapQuake. Once you've lined up the queen and positioned her in a way at an angle where you can get the value that you want to use an early queen ability. From here, as long as your giant arrow moves through the defenses that you want to remove, you can follow this by using the ZapQuake. Now, this is going to be a chart for how many lightning spells you're going to need with 0 to 1 earthquake spells following the giant arrow from the queen. You may also want to know the minimum level of giant arrow that you're going to need for most of this chart. However, removing air defenses in one shot will require a higher level giant arrow, but does not affect the rest of the chart in general. This will allow you to follow this part up with a hero dive. From your Archer Queen's ability, you're going to start setting the funnel to make sure the king and queen follow in the direction to remove more of the base following the ZapQuake. Having an Ice Golem and Apprentice Warden can be very, very supportive, especially with the Barbarian King's Giant Gauntlet and having the queen underneath her healers while you move deeper into the base. Having super wall breakers to open the initial few walls, while also having a jump spell to maybe even get a little deeper, can allow you to get a lot more value off of the base before you even start your Lavaloon. Now with this hero dive, you do want to make sure that you're getting deep enough to where you can easily lure out the CC, or if it's already lureable, you need to make sure that you are dealing with the enemy CC, as this will allow you to not have to worry about it with the Lavaloon. It won't take out your balloons, and you can have a really easy time clearing a good chunk of the base while also clearing out the defensive CC. Now, if you are choosing to use the Flame Flinger, I would recommend using it at this point, as it will allow you to set the funnel defensively, so clearing out stuff like air defenses, which really helps the Lavaloon, but also creating a funnel for the heroes and allowing you to just get a lot of value off of the base with just one siege. Your Royal Champion, though, will be used more adjacent with your hero dive to get a little bit more value. So even if she does move in with your King and Queen, this can still work out somewhat, as long as she's able to get rid of a good amount of the base from just using her. That is going to allow you to move through with the Lavaloon. This is a really solid way to clear a large area of the base, which then gives you plenty of time to use the Lavaloon, just like using my creator code Corrupt. And well, with most of the base secured from your ZapQuake and hero dive, this is when sending the Lavaloon is critical. You want to use a Lava Hound with 3 to 4 groups of balloons. This is going to allow you to clear a given area as you dive in. You should have the Grand Warden following with them. You want to then also send in another Lava Hound perpendicular to them as you kind of move in with another couple groups of balloons, as you then have a stronger balloon parade as you move deeper in. As for the spells, you're going to use haste spells to get your balloons to air targeting defenses faster. It can be any of them, specifically splash damage, air defenses, or really anything that hits multiple targets is definitely something to get rid of. Freeze is a really good spell, as it allows you to prevent splash damage from really targeting onto your balloons, and it's really nice as it provides a safety net to getting to those key defenses a lot sooner. The Grand Warden's Eternal Tome and Heart Tome, in my personal opinion in this case, is very good. As you get closer to the Town Hall, you can easily use that ability, heal any of your balloons, and you should still have healing as you go into the Town Hall and then some. It can really be a large amount of value for you to use the Heart Tome over the Life Gem that really won't get those balloons back or keep them up for a little bit longer. Just make sure that you do have leftover troops like minions to clean up the rest of the base, which can help you in preventing a time fail. Now, of course, no attack is perfect, and there's always a couple mistakes that I would try to avoid when using an attack like this. The Giant Arrow is a very easy ability to mess up, and you want to be sure that you have your queen lined up in the right angle, or the value that you get is quite negligible. In the hero dive, you want to make sure that you are able to move through the base, and being stuck behind walls honestly will limit the amount of value that you can get. However, of course, this does have that nice flexibility of having the Royal Champion, and she can really be used anywhere as long as you're not going into a high DPS area or a king without having a headhunter. Of course, I would just make sure that you have the king and queen following rather than having them split and stay on the outside. That could be a huge issue. In the Lavaloon, you do want to make sure that you are using the Warden ability a little bit later on, especially in the core of the base. This is going to get you the most value, and any splash buildings that still are up, you can take full advantage of the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome. So it really does allow you to get through, but using it early could be a big problem. So make sure that you're using it in the core, as it honestly will offer you a lot more. Just make sure you have cleanup though. It's an obvious mistake so you don't time fail. Everything here though is what you're going to need to know for the new ZapLalo in one video.